Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Please like, subscribe and share this video if you like it. I wanted to do another video today because yesterday I was talking with a friend and she mentioned that, we don't cry. We don't cry unless it's because if we see a cute puppy or something like that, something cute. At that point, it's okay to cry. In front of other people, but also in front of ourselves. And that reminded me of one time when I was an exchange student in the United States, and I had this friend. She is Spanish, and she was leaving the United States, and it was so sad for all of us. And she was crying, and I remember putting up this brave face and trying to comfort her, telling her it's okay, you don't need to cry. And then I realized it's because I didn't want to face the fact that soon it would be my turn to leave as well. And I've been really shut down in that area for decades. I would never cry. I remember not crying for physical pain, even though I was an athlete. So I got pretty hit sometimes, but also especially emotionally, things that really would have deserved a good crying over. Now, of course, that's changed the last 5 years. Took me all the way to where the dam kind of collapsed and now the waterworks won't stop. But I realized that when you cry, it not only it's your body's way of releasing tension, and it's also your neural system, a way of recalibrating, but it's also your spiritual and emotional point of reset. What happens is that you very quickly integrate things when you cry. There is an actual function to it that is incredibly powerful. Basically, things that might take you a long time, I call it percolating, things that might take a long time to percolate through your system. The moment that you finally let the tears flow, or the tears come up by themselves, what you're doing is you're releasing them, integrating the root cause, integrating the trauma that was at the cause of this holding back, fear, pain, whatever, discomfort, whatever the situation might be. And all of a sudden, the problem is gone. Now, there are issues that are so big and so buried inside ourselves that we're going to need to shed lots of tears, especially when the tears are overdue. And really, this is stuff that we should have cried over for decades. But as you well know, we live in a society that despises emotions. We've been programmed and told over and over that showing emotion makes you weak. And so not only we end up not showing emotions in front of other people for fear of being judged, but we also judge ourselves. So we also push our own emotions down, even in private. We are basically being our own, I call it prison guards. Not only we are the prisoners, but we're also the prison guard. And this is quite unfortunate because, of course, we are with ourselves 24/7. No one else could keep us on a leash as well as we can. And so the moment that we espouse this societal expectation that we're supposed to behave like biorobots, we condemned ourselves to not feeling. The problem is, you can hide your feelings, but you cannot get away from them. So the more you push them down without letting them release, the more eventually they will come up all at once, and it's going to be very painful, and it's not going to look pretty. When you, as I mentioned, when you start, or in my case, but I know I've asked many other people, and I've been told the same thing, when you start crying, it's hard to stop until you cleared everything. There's a time for everything. So this is a good thing when that happens for you. I have gotten to the point where I welcome tears because it means that whatever issue I've been working on has finally reached its end. And so I wanted to make this video to encourage you that if you do feel emotional, don't push this down. It's very unhealthy from a physical standpoint, and it's even more so from an emotional and spiritual standpoint. We have tools. Nature has given us tools to deal with things. Feelings are very much that tool. Feelings are a GPS. Feelings tell us in which direction we're supposed to go and not go. Your feelings will never fail you. This is what is going to help us out of a situation where it's actually paying attention to our feelings and the messages they are wanting to show us, to share with us. A lot of people, even in this situation, feel very frazzled, very afraid. And I'm talking about the current situation in the world, feel very afraid, but they're so frozen. They don't actually go to the source of where the feelings are, because they don't want to look at them, because we have been scared to look at our feelings as if they are this big, bad monster. They only become a monster because we refuse to acknowledge them. The second you start doing that, as I said, it might take some time, especially if you've been pushing your feelings down for decades like I had, but then there is no looking back. Once you go through that, you will come out at the other end of it a new person. You're going to feel light. You're going to feel joyful. And this is the answer. Whenever you are at peace, because you've looked at your shadow, you looked at your hidden bits and pieces and realized that they're part of you. There is nothing that is that dark that really you didn't need to, you know, it would have killed you to look at. I have not heard of anybody dying from looking at their feelings. I have heard of people dying because they refuse to acknowledge their feelings. So I hope that you will give this a chance. You don't have to start with the biggest, baddest fear that you have. You can start with little things, because the beauty of this is that it doesn't matter where you start, you will end where you're meant to end, and you will look at everything. And as you get stronger, you'll be able to bring more and more stuff to the surface. I have friends and students who have dealt with things that are even too horrible to think about. But because they're going through the process of self-loving, loving themselves and accepting themselves, and realize they are just as worthy as everyone else, their entire life has transformed. And I can personally attest to this process. So I hope you'll give this a chance. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.